Hey Cavi fans, welcome back. I have a question for you. Now that Hurricane Helen is gone, do you have an emergency plan for your pups? Well, you will after you finish watching this. Stick around. So I've been thinking a lot since the last week, reflecting on, emergency plan for my puppies, because honestly, I didn't have one, and I consider myself very responsible, but because we live in California, what's a really emergency plan for? If there's an earthquake, okay, it might happen. I have extra water in my car and a blanket. I thought that's all I needed, right? Wrong. So I recently got this email from the Humane Society, and it pointed out to me this article of the things that I haven't been doing, and I want to share some tips with you. Are you ready? Okay. Bella, she's hysterical. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about, since it is hot out and it's going to continue to stay hot for a while, is I want to talk about something that is unfortunate, but we do see, is cars. The dogs being left in a car. Did you know when it's 85 degrees outside, in 10 minutes it gets to be 102 inside the car, even with the windows rolled down a little bit? I don't like being in 102 degree weather, and I can guarantee a little itty bitty baby like this is not going to do well at all. Let's see here. Also, exercising. I do see this a lot, unfortunately, but when it's hot outside during midday, it is way too hot for your doggy. Don't exercise them during the mid-afternoon. Wait and do it either early morning or in the afternoon when it starts to cool down. If you have to take them outside just to relieve themselves and get a little bit of exercise, it's best to do it in the shade. And that comes to something else that I learned. Did you know that dogs sweat mostly through their paws? How crazy is that? I did not know that. So using a fan actually is not going to help them to cool down. It's another reason why we don't want to have them walking on the hot sand or the hot dirt or the pavement or the asphalt. Not only can they burn their little paws, but they're heating up as well, because this is where they sweat. Isn't she the cutest? That's baby Bella, in case you guys don't know, if you haven't been around the channel. This is baby Bella, Mia's baby. And look who we have here too. Come here, William. Look who's here. We have William. William is from our first litter, and he is just so precious. Isn't he look cute? He's got his cute summer puppy cut going. And he feels nice and cool and happy. He's a good dog. All right, so that brings me to the next tip. Shade. Make sure your dog is in the shade and has plenty of water if you're going to be outside. This would be, if you're in the forest, or can I talk, Bella? Thank you. If you're in the forest or in a park, get under some trees. Make sure you have extra water for your doggy. And heat stroke. What does heat stroke look like? Yes, your dogs can get into a heat stroke. This is what the symptoms are. The heart rate goes up, they're panting a lot. Their heart rate goes up, you can feel their heart going really fast. The reason why it goes extra fast is because they're trying to pump the blood through the system quicker to cool it down. And that's why the heart rate goes up. And also increased thirst. They get really tired, lethargic, seizures, uncoordinated, vomiting. Those are the signs of a heat stroke. What you need to do for a dog who has heat stroke is get them into shade, get them some water, and put ice packs right along their carotid right here. This will cool them down the quickest. Remember what I said, the heart rate goes up trying to cool it down, right? So this is the best way to cool your doggy down, is on the carotid artery. All right, so that is things you need to know about for heat, which goes along with during this hot season, and we are getting the storms that are coming through. wildfires, so it's hot out. That's why I wanted to talk about that. Now we're going to talk about a disaster plan. You're going to microchip your doggy if you haven't already. This proves ownership without a doubt. This is my dog. Also, don't forget something very, very basic. William, come here. Let's show everybody what you have. Come here. Something so basic. If all of the electricity was to go out, how are you going to prove this is your dog? Really simple. They can read right here. This is William and this is his phone number. This is the quickest and easiest way to get back to your doggy. Everyone knows this is William and that's his phone number. Super simple, super easy. All of your dogs are going to do that. We are going to go to Petco and we're all going to get a collar with our names on it and my phone number. We're going to go do that later today. Okay, so that's part of our disaster plan. We're going to be microchipped, which they are, and we're going to get a collar. Just in case there's no electricity, we can still get in contact with me very easily and I can get her back. Also, if you have a friend or a neighbor that lives close by, like let's say you were at work and a disaster hit and they were at home, they got a key, they could get inside and get your dogs or your cats or birds, whatever you have, quickly. Also, make sure you have a copy of the records, and I would put it on your phone. That's really easy to do. And just you can scan it or you can just take a picture of it and keep it on in your phone. Evacuate early. I can't stress this enough. Evacuate early. When you know you're going to be in danger of either a wildfire is coming and you know that you have to evacuate, or let's say it's a hurricane and you know you're in its path, get out. Don't wait till the last second. There's just no reason for that. Evacuate a day early. That way you're not trapped trying to wait out the storm. And you're also going to get a disaster kit. This is going to be what I call a go bag. A go bag that is like at your front hallway closet somewhere where by the door where you can just grab it and go. It's going to have some water for 5 days. It's going to have food for 5 days. And that can be very simple as just water bottles. And keep some in your car too. But I suggest, because I do fresh food for my dogs, as you've seen in the other videos, is you can also get some raw freeze-dried patties. There's a few brands out there that make them that are really good. We happen to have one in particular that we like, that we use as snacks, but that could be a really good emergency food for them. And most dogs can eat pretty much everything you eat. So if you're having some chicken, they can have it as long as you're not putting all the spices and stuff on it. They can have a little chicken, they can have a banana, they could have some steak. Bella would like steak. She says steak every day. Right, Bella? All right, so that's what that's gonna look like. Also, if your dog is taking medication, I would just have an extra one in your go bag. And make sure you check it. They say you should check your emergency bag every 6 months. Just make sure the food hasn't expired and your medications haven't expired. Also, you should have a first aid kit. And this would just be basic stuff like something to wash the wound out with. You can buy it like CVS, Walgreens, on Amazon, anywhere. Just like some normal saline or wound wash, whatever you can find. Also some shampoo for your dog in case it were to get like a bunch of smoke or maybe oils or whatever it was exposed to. You can wash it off with them pretty quickly. She's in a mood today, isn't she funny? All right, also some tweezers. This is not distracting, this is actually fun for me. And a septic pen. A septic pen is going to stop bleeding really quickly. I have mine in my birthing kit in case there was an emergency umbilical cord and couldn't get the bleeding to stop, that would stop it pretty much immediately. Also, some activated charcoal. If your dog was to ingest something poisonous, you want to get it to vomit as quickly as possible, and that will do that. That's what they give them actually if you take them to the vet, if they've ingested chocolate or something, is activated charcoal. Now, I'm not saying this is to replace a vet. I'm saying this is in case of an emergency and you can't get to that vet because, I don't know, we just had a hurricane or a tornado or an earthquake or wildfire, something like that. This is what you would do until you could get to your vet. And you should also check with your vet too, just to make sure that everything I'm saying they agree with, which this came from the Humane Society. Okay, also doggy bags, right? We still need to be good neighbors and pick up our doggies' messes. So make sure you have extra doggy bags in your go bag. And also, you should have a current photo on your phone. I mean, most of us have lots of photos of our favorite pets, right? Okay. Also, a toy that has our smell on it, not a toy that hasn't been opened and played with. A used toy will do a lot because not only is it something that they're familiar with, but it'll have all the smells of home on it, which will be very comforting for your dog. Okay, Bella, that's enough. You're getting a little too crazy. Thank you. And make sure if there's an emergency and you have to evacuate, you take your pets with you. Do not leave them behind, because then if it's not safe for you, it's not going to be safe for them. All right, next we're going to talk about identifying a safe place. Let's say that you couldn't evacuate, or it was a tornado and all of a sudden just came out of nowhere. Let's say that happened. What are you going to do? You're going to identify a safe place. Safe place could be, depending on what it is. If it's a tornado, obviously the basement. The lower you go, the better. Whereas with a hurricane, the higher you go, the better. Because the danger with hurricanes is obviously the wind, but also the flooding and the surges that come with it. So make sure that, you know, if it was a hurricane, that you bring anything inside that could projectile, like an umbrella or chairs or something like that. Bring those inside. Stay away from the windows, obviously, because if something were to come from outside in, you want to be in a safe area where you're not going to get hit with it. You are just on fire today, aren't you? You're just so cute. I love you. Let's see. So those are basics. Also, if you don't have a basement, if there's a tornado, you could get into a bathroom. A bathtub is a very safe place with pillows. All right, let's see. What else did they say? All right, wildfires. I found this very interesting. For the wildfires, obviously we're not going to let our pets outside, right? We're not going to let them go outside and wander around in it, because they could get really hurt. They could get trapped in the fire. Also, birds. Birds are extra sensitive to smoke. So this is curious. Right before the hurricane hit, okay, Bella, that's enough. Right before the hurricane, which degraded down to a tropical storm, hit here in California, the birds all left. And you've seen my other videos how I always take videos. Oh, you fell. I always take videos of the birds. They all left except for this one little family. The mom and the dad and the baby were stuck because they had a very small little bird that wasn't even fledging yet. It was still in the nest, and so they waited it out. They get Parent of the Year award. They were the only birds left, and they waited it out. And I just figured out why that other bird has not left. That's the dad. This is the mom. And there's a baby in the nest. So the baby's too young to be able to leave. So they're gonna have to hunker down. Oh boy. I wish them good luck. You can see the babies survived. There's two of them. I thought there was only one, but there's actually two. Oh. always a happy ending. And that is it. That's what I have for you today. And I hope that you have enjoyed these tips and you stay safe, and we will see you next week. We're going to talk about how to entertain your pets so they don't get bored and do the same thing on repeat, and then they start destroying your house, right? So I've got some tips for that coming up, because when we have new little puppies, everything's fun, but then as they start to get a little bit older, they've been living with you for a while, everything starts to be mundane for them if we don't do some things to keep them entertained. And I'm going to show you my tricks next week. All right. Thank you so much for your support, and we really appreciate you helping us grow this channel. And I hope these have been really fun educational videos for you, and you have yourself a lovely week. Say goodbye, Mia. Bye-bye. Oh, I love you too.